All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We are back in the shop, as you can tell. So today we're getting started on the short list of things that I need to do before the next race. Still kind of unsure what the next event is we're going to make. Of course, we're going to make some local testing tunes here at Northeast Dragway, but kind of up in the air if I'm going to make the XTP Truck Mania event. We kind of like to have some folks to roll up there with, so it's not just me going by myself, really. So we're gonna see who all else wants to go. If we can get a couple people to go, we might all get together and ride up that way. If not, it looks like Holly Rock will be the next big event that we're actually gonna make. So in the meantime, we got like I said, a short list of things to do on the truck. So one thing obviously on the list is we need to replace the rear leaf spring bushings. I'm planning on doing that last just because, you know, that's going to have the truck down for a short amount of time while I have the leaf springs pulled out and I'm getting new bushings pressed in and everything. So first on the list, today, I'm going to open the shop, get the truck fired up and warmed up, back it up a little bit so the exhaust isn't clouding out the shop here. And we're going to do a couple logs, spooling the truck up to send over to Ryan, because the first thing that I really need is to go ahead and get the staging limiter set up on this truck. So I ordered a switch for it. It should be in today. I don't know what time it'll get in, so that'll determine if I get it mounted up today or not. But got to get that wired in, mounted up. Got to make a mount for it. Get Ryan to look over these data logs I'm going to send him. He's going to do some revisions for me and try to give me a few different files with a few different RPMs for the staging. And we'll see how it works out. Honestly, it'll probably take longer for me to figure out how I want to route the wires to make it look clean than it will to do anything else. But I'm going to take a look at that and try to get a game plan together on how I'm going to do that. Second thing, I plan on going ahead today and getting started on redoing the wiring for the battery. I've looked at it a little bit, shouldn't have to do too much alterations to that, I guess you would say. The positive wire coming from the battery's got to be redone. And I've got to make another short jumper wire to be able to run in this battery shutoff switch I've got. And last but definitely not least today, if you remember a little while back, we had a truck in that I said was a family member's truck. And we did the leveling kit, tires and wheels, stuff like that. That truck's coming back in today. We have a new grill for it, new fog lights, a set of LED fog lights from Spider, I believe it was. And then also putting a set of Bilstein shocks and stabilizer on. I can't remember if we got front or rear shocks. We got the full set, but just like everything else, it's on back order right now. So we got 2 of the 4 shocks as well as the stabilizer. So we're going to put those on today and get the new grill and fog lights swapped out as well. So we go ahead and jump on, get this thing here fired up, getting it backed out, and let it warm up a little bit. While it's warming up, I'll probably check out some possible wire routing scenarios for trying to route this staging limiter cleanly. And anyways, we're gonna go from there. Like I said, after I get those data logs, we'll pull the truck back in and go ahead and get the back of it jacked up a little bit and climb under here and see if we can figure out how we want to go about doing this battery shutoff switch. So anyways, we're gonna jump on some of this and I'll touch base as I get into it. All right, so of course, as soon as I got ready to start doing the logs of spooling the truck up, the kids laid down and took a nap, so got to be quiet for a little bit. But in the meantime, what I was able to do was go ahead and get all the tools ready. As you see, we got a set of Bilstein, or Bilstein, however you pronounce it, shocks for the front. This truck is leveled, still has shock towers, so the, let's see. So there goes your part number on those. That's for a leveled truck, still has shock towers. Then we have a stabilizer here. Same thing for just a stock truck. There's part number on that there. So anyways, while I'm waiting, I went ahead and got all the tools out. It's a 18 for the nut on this joint right here at the end of the stabilizer. This end up here was a 15, I believe. Then you got 21s. Yeah. Use a 21mm socket here. Up at the top, it uses a 3/4. and the 3 bolts that hold the shock tower on are 13 millimeters, I believe. So anyways, got those. These are the new fog lights that we've got. Uses a 10 millimeter to get those out, just the 3 bolts that you can see there. They'll pop out, undo the factory plug. And as you can see, it comes with this fancy harness to be able to put it on a switch. I guess for a truck that doesn't have factory fog lights, you would think they'd have an adapter where you can just plug it in from your factory lights, but I didn't see one anywhere. So what we will probably do is just wire this into the factory lights. That makes the most sense to me. So that's probably what we'll do. But anyways, they'll be headed over shortly with the truck and we'll get started on that. And then later on, we'll do some data logs with that pig. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and finish cleaning up the shop a little bit, getting some room in here. As you can see, we had a party in here the other day, a bunch of tables, chairs, stuff strewed everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and try to clean that up a little bit before we get the truck pulled in here. And we'll go ahead and get things set up and start knocking the list out on that one. All right, so we just finished working up on that other truck. We got the shocks changed out, stabilizer changed out. I was gonna put the four-wheel drive shift linkage in for him, but I didn't realize he had actually already got to that. So got that knocked out. Got the new fog lights in and the new grill in. Fog lights, we decided to go ahead and splice it into the factory harness so it worked off the factory switch. Luckily, these lights came with a black and a white wire, and your factory harness uses black and white, and would you know it, it actually matches up for once. So all we had to do is wire it up. We used some good quality butt connectors and shrink wrap on it, and then also re-loomed over it, taped it up good just to make sure that it didn't get any bad weather to it that could cause any issues in the future. So anyways, in the dad bod now, got it warmed up a little bit. I'm gonna get ready to do a few data logs for Ryan to let him look over for the staging limiter. So we'll see if we can get a good video of that and get some good logs for him. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap up the video for today, guys. As I said, with the other truck that was in here, we were able to get it buttoned up fairly simple. Swapped out the shocks on it, was able to do that with just pulling the air box and pulled the shocks right out of the top. That wasn't too big of a deal. The only somewhat issue you had with the shocks was that the shock towers didn't, or let me rephrase, the studs on the top of the shock didn't want to loosen up and come off of the shock towers. So luckily I had a spare set sitting on the shelf, threw them on, kept the shocks. I'm going to end up trying to heat the nut up on those and get them off that way. Got the stabilizer swapped out. That was fairly straightforward as well. It didn't really want to come out of the drag link, and I didn't have a puller, but I had a couple pickle forks I was able to wedge together and get it knocked out that way. The hood ran into a small, or not the hood, I'm sorry. The grill ran into a small issue because like a dummy, I was using a small 1/4 inch impact to get it out. Never use an impact on those little capture nuts. It never works out well. I had 2 of them strip out, so I had to fight that a little bit, but I was able to get them back together and get them back in the new grill. The fog lights, we got them swapped out again. It was straightforward. Pretty nice looking lights from Spider. The only thing I didn't like, I wish they had a connector that would adapt just right into your factory harness. I don't know why they don't do that. It's made specific for these trucks. But instead, they have a harness that they want you to wire in and use a switch, and we didn't want to go that route. So we just spliced it into the factory harness. We saved the plugs in case down the road we decided to go back with the factory stuff. So that went simple as well. As for this truck here, so I did a couple logs with it. It's really, really hard to keep it at a certain boost level, RPM, whatever you want to call it, for launching it. As you saw in some of the videos earlier, when I was trying to stage it, it would just, I don't know, it was kind of up and down. It was really hard to stay on a certain number. So I did a few different logs. Hopefully he'll be able to use some of that. If not, I'll give it another shot. So trying to get it, if you leave at 15 pounds, it's still under the charger a good bit. It's going to take somewhere around 18 to 20 to be leaving up on boost. So I'm trying to get a few different versions of this tune file that'll one be at, you know, around 20 pounds, then a 25, then up to like a 30 if I really want to leave fairly hard. So I'm going to see if he can send me some files like that, if he can get that off of the logs that I sent him. If not, I'm sure he can either wing it, as he's pretty good at that. He's about the best nerd there is out there. But if he's having some issues with it, then we'll do some more logs and try to hold steady and see if we can't get something a little better for him. So as for the battery shutoff switch, I did look, and I'm pretty sure I got a good game plan on that, but I realized I don't have a crimper here for 1/0 wire. We had some for Trevor's truck, but it was his tools. He took them with him when he left, and I hadn't thought twice about ordering me a set until I needed them right now. But I do have a game plan on how I'm going to wire it, how I'm going to mount everything. It's just a matter of actually doing it, getting it in the truck. I looked at the switch today for the launch control. So this is what I ended up with. This switch here is a momentary switch from Motion Raceworks. Could probably get by with something cheaper, not as fancy, but this switch here, it's really nice quality. If you look, so it's got the threaded piece on the back here, and it's got the nut, so I can make a little lightweight aluminum mount to hold it on the steering wheel. I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do that yet. I may try to take the steering wheel apart and bolt it to it somehow, or I may try to get some type of adhesive to hold it on. The switch is fairly easy to push, but at the same time, I don't want to be at the track getting ready to launch and the buttons snap off the steering wheel or something. Also, it's a few bucks extra, but I ordered this connector so I don't have to hardwire it the whole way through. I hadn't decided if I'm gonna put this down towards the connector where the pin is on the computer and just have a wire ran the whole way up, or if I put this connector in the cab. Haven't really decided yet, but I'll figure that out. But I do have a game plan on how I'm going to route it for now. I would like to be able to route it the way that I did the whole main harness going into the cab, but that is a real headache, and I don't really have room for much of anything else other than what's through that hole now. So I may just route it through. There's a hole in the firewall. I've got my boost gauge ran through. I don't really like it, but that may be the route that I go for now. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I know not a whole lot going on in this video other than spooling a truck up sitting still in the shop, but anyways, maybe next time we'll wire a switch up and go do some launches. So we'll see. But anyways, thank y'all for watching. Thanks for stopping by, and be sure to tune in next time. Thank y'all.